Have you been waiting for a Canon EOS R5 Mark II update? Well, we've got one for you on April Fools, but don't worry, we've already published our April Fools video, so this one's legit. Canon Rumors says, we reported back in February that the Canon EOS R5 Mark II will be announced in late April or early May. This information has been confirmed by multiple sources, although announcement dates can be a bit of a moving target, at least until everything's ready for Canon. So, pretty good news, right? Excellent news, maybe? We've got validation from Canon Rumors coming from multiple known sources that the EOS R5 announcement is going to happen, although there's a bit of a question behind when it's going to happen. Is it going to happen in April? Well, as I stated yesterday and in several other videos over the past couple of weeks, based on what we're hearing from retail and distribution sources, we're not expecting anything to happen in April because nobody's heard anything. So this is what Canon Rumors had to say about the actual date. If we had to guess, we think a May announcement will make the most sense. Okay, so we do have validation that the Canon EOS R5 Mark II announcement is getting ready to take place. It's going to happen sometime in the future. Now, it's most likely not going to be April, but Canon Rumors is hazarding a guess that it's going to be May. This is really, it's a little bit frustrating, isn't it? Because we do have multiple known sources telling us that an R5 Mark II announcement is coming. And by the sounds of things, this is going to happen before an EOS R1 announcement. Well, this is where we did get a little bit of information, and it seems to indicate that as far as an R1 announcement, it's most likely going to be a development announcement. Now, we do have a big show coming up in a couple of weeks, and it's NAB, and there is a chance that Canon could drop a development announcement at NAB, before NAB, or after NAB. And that could be the R1 announcement that we've been told about. But again, there's a lot of conjecture around this. We really don't know much. Canon Rumors did say we would get the R1 announcement first, but we haven't heard anything further on that. Today's post by Canon Rumors, there's no mention about the R1. It's all about the R5 Mark II, and they're hazarding a guess that May makes the most sense. And why does May make the most sense? Well, Canon Rumors continues saying, we've been told from a retail source that they're preparing for the EOS R5 Mark II to begin shipping in late June, July of this year. Okay, so Canon Rumors has multiple known sources telling us that the Canon EOS R5 Mark II announcement is going to happen. It's most likely going to be May and not April. Okay, so why are we so sure it's going to be in that time frame? Well, because he has another retail source saying that it'll start shipping in late June or late July. And this all seems to fit into what I was saying over several videos ago about the Canon EOS R5 Mark II most likely going to follow the same schedule as the Mark I. If you recall, we had an early July announcement around July the 9th or the 10th, where Canon announced the EOS R5 the Mark I and the EOS R6. And then 3 weeks later, on July the 30th, they started shipping. I was fortunate enough to have the Canon EOS R5 on day one, and actually, thanks to Canon Canada, actually had a full production model 1 week before to play around with, right on the date that I had my surgery. So it's a little bit frustrating here because we do have some confirmations from multiple known sources that the R5 Mark II announcement is coming and that it will start shipping in late June, or maybe it's going to be late July. We don't have any details. It could be early June, but we have a 2-month time frame for when it'll start shipping. It's going to start shipping this summer in the 3rd quarter, and it's going to be announced sometime late in the 2nd quarter. So what about specifications? We must have some specifications, right? We have pricing or leaked images? No, sadly we don't. Now, Canon Rumors did go on to say that, well, they did have information on the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, and that they were going to publish that. They tweeted this out, I think it was a week and a half ago, and they commented saying, well, okay, we were ready to go to market on information with specifications on the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, but we're told at the last minute to hold off. This is certainly plausible. What often happens is we're sometimes in the rumor business, we're given information and we're told, okay, you can't publish this until a certain date. It's a way to protect sources. Rumors on the Canon EOS R5 Mark II have been all over the place. It was first supposed to have 61 megapixels, and this was on Black Friday of 2022. It was supposed to start shipping in the middle of 2023. That obviously didn't happen. Then the resolution went up to 62 megapixels. The Camera Insider reported that, and they are no longer in business. And then just recently, Canon Rumors has said, nope, we're back to 45 megapixels. So we have a range of between 45 up to 62, from a backside illuminated sensor all the way up to a stacked sensor. So we're all over the place. And in terms of specifications, it's the same thing. We're supposed to get 8K video. Well, great, but what are the frame rates? What are the codecs? Well, Canon Rumors didn't tell us. We're supposed to be able to do 4K 120 frames per second. Great. Okay, is that full sensor readout? Is that HQ mode? Well, they didn't tell us. Are we limited to 120 frames per second in any mode? Or is the R5 going to go up to 150, 180, 240 frames per second, or something ludicrous like 1080? No, no mention there at all. And what about codecs? Well, Canon Rumor did say one thing about log profiles. They didn't say anything else about H.265 or H.264, IPB and all-I. They did say we would get Canon log 1, 2, and 3. So there's that. And in terms of burst rate, 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second. They don't mention whether it's lossless RAW or it's other types of RAW codecs, or if it's going to be JPEG or HEIF. Again, very little in terms of details. But they did say it was going to be all electronic, but others have said it's going to be mechanical as well. So you see where we are today. It's a little bit frustrating. And I know, looking at the date, you're thinking, okay, come on, Simon, it's April the 1st, so maybe you're done with your April Fool's jokes, but what about Canon Rumors? Well, I did an interview with Craig Blair several years ago, and one thing he told me is he doesn't do April Fool's jokes anymore. He tried one once, it blew up, he didn't like the response, so he doesn't believe in doing April Fool's jokes. So what he's telling us today on April the 1st, and why on earth he's giving this to us on April the 1st and not waiting till April the 2nd or doing it on March the 31st, is beyond me, because everyone's going to think, okay, this is just a teaser. But the main thing to come out of Canon Rumors post this morning is that, okay, the announcement date isn't likely going to happen in April now. They didn't confirm that it's not going to happen in April, but he said most likely it's going to happen sometime in May, and that it will start shipping in late June or July. So we do have that. We don't have any specifications. But again, I want to go back to the Canon EOS R1. Canon Rumors did say that the EOS R1 would be announced before the R5 Mark II, and as I said earlier in this video, that's still possible if we get a development announcement, because NAB 2024 is coming up in 2 weeks, and I tried to be at this show, but I waited too long and all the good airline tickets are gone. Basically, I was going to fly down there that day and then come back late, and it looks like all those direct flights are gone, with the exception of a few which are very, very expensive, and it's a little bit frustrating. But there is a chance, because if you recall, back in 2020, at NAB 2020, well, Canon Rumors came out and said, yeah, they gave us more information on the EOS R5 Mark II, confirming all the video modes, 8K RAW, 120 frames per second in 4K, and a whole bunch of other things. And it really kind of stole the show about, because we were all asking questions at the time about the R5. It was just the leak specifications we got back in January the 27th about the camera. Again, this is Canon Rumors that broke this, so they're a very reliable source. Really shocked everybody. It's like, wow, okay, yeah, this camera is real. So there is a chance we could get some sort of development announcement right around NAB, either before, during, or after, and I'll be covering that for sure, because we don't know a whole lot about the R1. Now, there is a chance I'm getting a feeling that we might not get the R1 shipped until late Q3 or early Q4. I'm talking about a September or October timeframe. So if we do have a development announcement at NAB or around NAB sometime late in April, that would mean we'd have to wait how many months? That's a long time. That's a long wait. Something just doesn't smell right about the R1. So I think a development announcement certainly makes sense. But when will it ship? Well, we don't really know. We don't know. I wish we did. But at least we have some information about the EOS R5 Mark II. Here we are, April the 1st. we're within 2 months away of an announcement. And again, as Canon Rumors said, this is a bit of a moving target, so things could shift again because Canon hasn't scheduled anything. They haven't made any sort of announcement, development or otherwise, which leaves us again on the edge of our seat wondering, and hopefully Canon Rumors is cleared to give us those leaked specifications of the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. And the fact that this video is coming out today, I wouldn't be surprised if that video, that information comes out in the next couple of days, or at least next couple of weeks. So fingers crossed, guys. I know it's frustrating. And if you want to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest regarding the EOS R5 Mark II, don't forget to subscribe, choose all notifications, and follow me on X. But if you're tired of waiting for the Canon EOS R5 Mark II and you don't have the EOS R5, you might want to take a look at some of the deals on right now. The Canon EOS R5, the Mark I, $29.99. That is new. That is not refurbished. That's B&H, Adorama, Amazon.com, everywhere in the United States. You can pick up the Canon EOS R5 for $29.99. But over at Adorama, you can pick up the Canon EOS R5 not only for $29.99, but they'll toss in a 128 gigabyte SanDisk CF Express Type B card, not SD card, along with a card reader. So there are lots of deals on right now. And in terms of lenses as well, this 100 to 500 millimeter you can pick up new for $300 off. Canon's got a lot of sales on lenses, camera bodies, and accessories. So this is a great time to buy if you're not willing to wait for the EOS R5 Mark II. And I know some of you, David, John, and Kathy, you're a little bit frustrated because we're not getting the information out. You're waiting for gear. Some of you have purchased stuff like the 200 to 800 and it hasn't shipped, but I'm hearing word that things will start shipping shortly. So here we are. It's April. It's still dark outside. I was expecting to sleep in. I really didn't expect Canon Rumors to post anything this morning, being that it was April the 1st, and while they don't do April Fool stuff, they don't like to get caught up in that. So here we are. Canon EOS R5. May, most likely. Yes, shipping. Late June or July. So I probably will have my camera for the summer. Yay! All right, thanks you so much for watching. Have yourself a great week, and we'll see you again soon.